This sounds pretty good. I don't have any knee pads on today. I'm at my work on my lunch break. All right. No shovel, no knee pads. Okay. Oh man, there's roots here really bad. This is why I use a shovel, right? It really sucks when I forget my shovel. But it's so hard to grab all my stuff in the morning because I have my lunch box, all my rain gear, my hard hat, my coat with me, and then I got to bring my bag, then I got to bring my detector and my shovel, and it's just really easy to forget stuff in the morning. Oh yeah, come on baby, let it be some goodies in there. And it's a pull tab. Sounded really good. I'm in the ultimate program right now, so we got a two-tone. And what I like about the hot program is that it's so dynamic. Just like Gary Blackwell says, it's super dynamic, man. That's pretty much what I use, the hot program, but I'm not gonna use the hot program here because it's not a super deep program, right? I got the sifter program too. My 11 and 12, 13 and 14 are hot and sifter, and I just toggle between them just like he said, and I've been doing really good with that setup, just to check targets, you know. I've been wanting to use the sifter program. It's not nearly as hot. I've noticed that it's I want to hear all the iron, right? Like this, see that? It's some foil right there on the surface. It's a high tone. So I can adjust this ultimate program however I want, but I don't want foil sounding like that, right? A big piece of foil. But I'm gonna pick up this junk here that's on the surface because I want to detect here quite a bit more. I haven't used the ultimate program yet. This is my first time using the ultimate program, so just bear with me. Some foil right there, right? And some foil. So I'm just gonna say a couple things here. That's what I like about metal tech. You can do whatever you want. You know, you can set up your metal detector however you want, and everybody likes different settings. Everybody likes different modes, programs. Everybody likes different tones, and if you have a metal detector that you can adjust those really good, no matter what detector it is, you'll begin to like it. You'll begin to understand it. If you have a metal detector that has 3, 4, and 5 tones, you know, you're kind of limited. You really are limited on learning that detector and learning what you're about ready to dig up. You know, the older metal detectors, you know, the analog metal detectors had something called VCO, and it's like a proximity sensor. The bigger the target is, or the shallower it is, the higher pitch that you're gonna get. And those older metal detectors were kind of hard to use. You know, the dials turned on you on accident, like when you set your metal detector down, or you pull your sleeve out of your cuff there, you know, you knock the dials a little bit loose, and then you have to adjust the whole thing over again. And with these newer machines, they're digital, but there's only a couple machines that really have that true VCO. You know, the MindLab EQUINOX just does not cut it, man. Does not cut it in the heavy iron, you know, and that's what you're going to use the VCO for. You're going to use it in heavy iron, because it's not going to go super deep. You know, that program or that function, that feature on a metal detector is not going to go super deep, but it's going to get through that iron a lot better, because you're trying to cut through that iron, and you're trying to get the higher conductors out of that iron. And if you just have a 3-tone setting and you can't hear much iron, or you have your discrimination up too high, you're not going to be able to hear those good targets popping out of that iron. And what I like about the Deus is the range of iron that you can hear that's audible to you is huge, man. That's why I like it so much. And it's a digital machine, so you're not bumping knobs and you know, those turn dials like on the old analog machines. And I like the old analog machines. I've used them for a long time, and I like the Deus so much because there's the iron tones are fierce, they're aggressive, they're bold, they just stand right out, and you can tell. It's like, let me put it this way, the iron tones on let me compare to the Deus to the EQUINOX, because those are two really good machines, two of the best machines that I've ever used, ever used. Let's compare the EQUINOX to the Deus right now, just from my, I guess, like 40 hours of the Deus and probably 300 hours, 400 hours with the EQUINOX. And the EQUINOX, I learned just right off the bat. I mean, super easy controls, super easy settings. The user interface on it is amazing, and the tones are amazing, but it just doesn't have that iron range. You know, you have -9 to 0 for the iron, right? At 1 on the EQUINOX, you're gonna get a lot of foil. That's where foil reads up at. But with, and then the pull tabs read up at 13, right? 13 to, you know, 16 to 16 basically, sometimes 9. And with the Deus, you have -6.4 to about 40, right? Because that's where the pull tabs are going to read up. I just dug that out, that pull tab out, and that was reading about 70, 60 or 70, and it was a high tone in this program here. But you have all that range of iron. And let me put it this way, the EQUINOX is like, compare it to the iron, the iron separation, the iron tones and the nuances with the EQUINOX aren't that great, but it's like a sentence, you know? It's like a sentence. The EQUINOX has like one sentence of iron. The Deus has a whole page, maybe a whole book. It's amazing how much iron tonal nuances you get with the Deus. It's blown my doors away just by the few hours that I've used it. I've gotten lots of relics, gold. I've gotten, actually I haven't got any silver yet, but I haven't really been swinging over areas that I can get a lot of silver at. But in parks, you know, that's parks I get a lot of silver in. But that's just comparing the Deus to the EQUINOX in the iron. But for coins and deep, you know, the EQUINOX really does great. And for jewelry, even the Deus does good for jewelry too. I've gotten quite a bit of jewelry. Maybe the videos might not be out yet, but I've gotten a lot of jewelry with the Deus. But the MineLab EQUINOX 800 with that 6-inch coil, it is just a jewelry magnet, man. The tones on that thing are just solid tones, man, in 50 tone. That's what I prefer. And the hot program is a full tone. You get all those tones with those numbers. So you get a wide range of tones, and you get a wide range of iron in the hot program, because you got all the iron and you got all the tones. Like with a 3-tone program, there's really not much dynamic to that. So hunting an iron, you're gonna really struggle, you know. And if you only have 3 tones and you have your discrimination down really low, you have to set your tone breaks up if you're gonna want to hunt for coins and whatnot, like an iron. And you're still gonna miss a lot of stuff, because you only want to go to a certain depth. And if you have it in hot program, which is a really spicy, just fierce program, you're really going to be able to pick that targets out that you've missed before with your other detectors that are like in 3-tone or 2-tone or whatnot. But it's all your preferences, you know. It's all about how well you know your metal detector. I'm still learning the Minelab Equinox. I'm still learning the Amphibio. I'm still learning on the Simplex. I learn all the time, especially on the comments on my channel. You know, I've learned actually a lot of stuff this week. This week I've learned a lot of new stuff just from the comments on my channel, and it's really helped me out a lot. And I have a lot of years experience. I'm always learning every day. Whenever I'm using whatever detector I'm using, I learn a lot. But with this Deus, it's just unreal in the iron, man. I just can't tell you what I've been missing for the last few years. The reason why I didn't purchase the Equinox in the past is because I had so many metal detectors, and I was still learning a lot about those metal detectors. And now that I haven't really bought a new metal detector in the last year, you know, I've gotten really comfortable with all my other metal detectors, and I just said, you know, I gotta move on to something different. I gotta really I want to hear the iron tones. With the Simplex, you can hear those iron tones, but they're really scratchy, and they're just not the coil options just aren't there for the Simplex. I wasn't really feeling it with the 8-inch coil. You know, sure, I found like a V-nickel and a ring, and it does good in the water, but this Deus with this 11-inch coil in it does excellent, man. It's a really good all-around coil. It's kind of heavy, but my 9-inch coil is going to be coming here very shortly, just after Christmas, about another week. It should be coming in the mail here, or it should be shipped me within the next week. And that's the coil that I really wanted to start out with, but they didn't have those options at the shop where I purchased my Deus at. And I got the Orcs too. I'm not really, the Orcs really wasn't a really good fit for me because it's more like an entry-level machine. You just don't have that many options, but I just wanted to get familiar with the tones and the menus on it. And the Deus is a lot harder to learn because you have to push a lot of buttons to get to your settings. But I got past that like the first day or so, because when you buy a new metal detector, watching a bunch of videos or watching somebody else use the machine is just not enough. You have to get the thing in your hand, you have to swing it around, and you have to just use it to really know what you missed just from videos and whatnot. Like when I talk in my videos and I'm explaining some of the features about these metal detectors, I want to give you as much information as I can, because I bought metal detectors in the past like this Orcs, you know. I was sure I was going to like the Orcs, and it did perform very well, and it does perform very well, but it's just so simple, man. If you have the money and you're going to buy an Orcs, it's good for prospecting, or it's good for like entry level. You know, it's super expensive, man. The Minelab Equinox is the same price. If you're just coin shooting, get the Minelab Equinox with that 6-inch coil, man. That 6-inch coil can go 8-inch deep, no problem, man. It just doesn't do the iron, you know, like the Orcs does. The Orcs does the iron a lot better. I would say it just a little bit better, but the Equinox for about the same price, maybe about the same price, is so much more of a high-end machine than the Orcs, you know. But I'm happy about buying the Orcs. You know, it got me into the Deus, and now that I got the Deus, I'm going to be using this thing a lot more. You guys are going to see a lot of videos coming out with this Deus, because it is freaking absolutely amazing. I just can't believe what I've been missing for the last few years since this thing has been out. But like I said, you know, timing is everything. And we had a lot of new detectors come out a few years ago when the Deus came out, and the Deus was just so expensive when it came out. It was over $1,500. They just dropped the price down like a week before I bought this Deus, so I got $100 off a Deus. You know, it still cost me over $1,000. But if Minelab, or if Garrett, or if Nokta comes out with a machine that's gonna perform very well in the iron, or if it has like multi-frequencies, simultaneous multi-frequency, that's gonna be my next detector that I buy, even if it comes next week. But I'll still be using the Deus, because the Deus, I don't think a lot is gonna compare to the Deus in the iron for a while. I knew that the Simplex was gonna just wreck everybody for a long time, and it has. I mean, the Simplex is just an absolutely amazing coin machine. It's a good relic machine. It's waterproof, it's durable. It just has everything that a beginner metal detector should have. But you can grow out of a Simplex really fast when you see the performance of these high-end machines in iron, especially the Amphibio and the Deus. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.